This video is entitled For the Whole Flock from the Black Sheep. Maybe I'm a writer, not a talker, I say, as I close the recording video from my webcam. So this is take two, basically. The fact is, I'm not great at socializing in real life situations, parties and such. A lot is lost on me. The far quieter and observant ones inspire me to have more of a flow or make better statements about being quiet and have it merge into the other aspects of my personality for the sake of consistency and flow. It's not just the quieter ones alone, but the crowd in the autistic spectrum I gravitated toward the most at school. I liked the interest they had with real world things, certain toys, games, books, comics, hobbies, and crafts, etc. I've said it a lot to different people over the years, but the autistic crowd across the board seem to have one major thing in common with each other: faith in things rather than people. Being overall a social drifter, outcast, and more recently, in the last few years, taking on the embodiment of what you might call a pariah of sorts. I am definitely most at ease when by myself, in solitude. When my early 20s rolled around and I got documented and branded with the term schizophrenia, I still don't get it. I think, most honestly, there are three main reasons. First of all, being my strange beliefs, which paid off, by the way, and oh Lord, did they pay off. My strange behavior being another reason, and all the strange things I was into, from music to movies to art and literature. So why did I get the diagnosis of being schizophrenia? Being schizophrenia, I do tick all the boxes from time to time, but never quite believed it because I just thought it was the hospital's way of telling me I'm really strange, and sometimes, maybe more often than not, it can be quite detrimental. So, yeah, I'll just go into a few of the strange things I was into. I loved the music by Coil and Throbbing Gristle. Some of the most early acts of industrial that have existed. Things that precede and influence the likes of Nine Inch Nails. Um, for those who don't know, piles of people know this, but I like those ambient, harsh noise, landscape, just anything unusual that catches my ear. I would get really into it. And I still am really into it, but not in the big way that I was. There are hundreds of European acts that focus on atmosphere and stage performance, among other things, to really set the scene, to really embody the art form that they're involved in making, with the relationship with their materials. I'm talking of quite obscure groups that there really would be no point in listing. Like Aeneid. Who's heard of Aeneid? Inade. Maybe quite a few people, maybe thousands of people. But am I going to have a decent discussion about them beyond they're really good and a paragraph or three? Maybe not. the whole process of listening to music is in the music. So, yeah, I'll move on. What I found out was, and it clearly works, it clearly comes at a price too. Often it paid by fiat or karma levels. So my thing, as the autistic person, as I've just said, takes an interest in things rather than people, my thing was esoterica of all kinds. UFOs, time travel, Nikola Tesla, the occult core of German National Socialism, including Miguel Serrano, of course, who wrote many key texts for me, and those who believe in me, the works of Carl Jung, namely the Red Book, James Joyce, the portrait of an artist as a young man, really spoke to me at a very early age. I couldn't follow most of it, but I think that was kind of the point. It's a work of art regardless, and I prefer it to Ulysses. But I do dip in and out of Ulysses. So where am I here? Genesis P. Orridge's Psychic Bible. I got a hold of that pretty early on in life, and sold it a few years ago as well for, shamefully, I probably only got about £30 for it. But that was a good book. I wish I still had it, honestly, for the sake of reference. Um, then there's the Holy Bible, which I know back to front, basically, or should by now, with all the readings I've given off it. But this is a taste of what I'm into, book-wise, music-wise, etc. Um, how would I define it? After a quick confirmation from Google, I find the word esoteric covers almost every type of thing I was, and I'm still most attracted to. The esoteric and the eclectic, basically. So, of course, I have a different sort of autism. How would I define it? Hmm? My attraction is to anything out of the ordinary. Who famously said that, but Alejandro Jodorowsky, the director of Magic Mountain, right? Magic Mountain and El Topo, which has to be one of my favorite films of all time, very easily. It was reported that John Lennon had it as his favorite film. So I'd recommend that film to anybody into strange film like Eraserhead. Um, but yeah, the films I get to watch as well. I got to watch. See, I'm from an era where you could just Google a film and there'd be 20 to 40 sites ready and eager to let you watch whatever movie or whatever TV show you wanted to watch. I remember binging South Park, the whole thing. I can't remember much about it, honestly. Same with Breaking Bad. But I remember the movies that stuck in my head, especially the Gaspar Noé ones. From Enter the Void to Irreversible, they all leave their mark. Those very extreme films, remarkable. So yes, my attraction is to anything out of the ordinary, and I really do mean out there. The more out there it gets, the more I'm attracted to it. And I could make an endless sermon pretty much about what I used to watch online. Well, anyway, Dreams took over. Dreams took over from cinema for my sort of entertainment. And then I had, in my early 20s, what they called a psychotic break. I really, really still find myself as a loner type who does a lot of social drifting. Never quite settled to one group at any time. I'm largely and widely seen as either strange or not of this world in many ways. So then, it should only be seen as natural that I really do prefer my own company, the company of myself. The only person that really truly understands me the most, I guess, other than my mother and father, possibly, or maybe it really is just me. Either way or not, I really do prefer my own company, which can be in a complicated enough relationship, I notice. When I make things such as poetry, certain paintings, and YouTube videos that I can't bring myself even to watch sometimes. I do know myself best the more I reflect on this. With the ascent to civility and trials of patience and kindness, I still hope to be a universally good influence to all that know me by whatever means, because I still cannot believe totally that I am all that different to everyone else. But if I am, and most sentient presences in my life that I've met also support the description of me being so singular, fine, let it be so. I shall wear and embody my uniqueness wherever I go. I really have no choice, fine. Give me my individuality, and with it, freedom, and I'll continue to hold on to it as long as I can. Remember, World War II was fought against militant conformism, with strong ideals of individuality and independence. This is why all the soldiers that died during World War II to win it for America and Britain and the West died. They died for that. Excuse me. Sorry, I had a visitor, but basically I was talking about how World War II was won to support the culture of individuality and freedom. And I hate to see it wasted on conformism instead. And the last paragraph and the last two sentences I wrote were just, where did all this individuality and this drive for freedom go? Was it disposed of at the end of the 60s? I would like to invite all who see this, or read this, or hear this, to spend their liberty more wisely than on sheep-like conformism. That's my little video on conformism. Thank you for watching. Until next time.